Rob. Thanks for the opportunity to allow me to show you DexSplicity Report Writer. DexSplicity is an Excel add-in, so you can see I've got the DexSplicity tab here. And the first thing I'm going to do is show or hide the task pane. And what I see here are the data sources that I can connect to. So every license comes with a connection to data that's held in Excel, as well as we have a direct interface to GP. So because it's Excel add-in, I can easily put your logo here. I've got graphs and data bars, icon sets, all those things that make Excel nice to use. Any formula that you want to do with totals or anything else, variances. And the very first thing I'm going to do here is just change the date. Let's say I come up here to the report date and I say, I'd like to run this report for last month again. I can click on update and you can see the data changes. I've got a label here. So if I come under my task pane and look at labels, I can see I can add all kinds of text labels here. I can also add a date label, and then I can format this any way Excel can format a date. So, if I just go to my Excel format options, I've got a custom formatting. I could use any date option here. All right, the next thing we probably want to see is drill down. So let's say I want to drill down on office expense. Our drill down is completely customizable. So if I click on the drill down, I'm going to create a new one. And you can create multiple drill downs, or you can just use one and then drill down on different numbers using the one drill down that you create. And I'll show you that here. So I'm just going to call it drill down, and I'm going to give the sheet name prefix of drill. So our drill down is actually a pivot table. So what I want to see is maybe the account code, maybe the location, and the department. And then I'm also going to pick an amount. I want the reporting amount. And now you can see I've got a drill down here. There's my total of 10,584. And that's the number I drilled down on. If I want to drill down on supplies, now I just click supplies and then say I want to use that drill down I created on that. And there's my supplies number. I could also say, well, I want to drill down on both of these amounts. So I can highlight multiple amounts and then click my drill down. And now I've got the drill down on all three of those. And then of course I could rearrange these if I really cared about those three accounts by location. I could see what that is. So very customizable drill down. The next thing I want to show you is a slicer. So if a slicers are useful for doing some analysis right here on the page. So again, highly customizable. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to say I want to create a new slicer. And in order to do that, I have to select what I want to be in my slicer. So I'm going to say that I would like a slicer on my department. So I select my department. And now I'm going to say I'm going to create a new slicer, and I'm going to call this one department. Now down here I have a new slicer. Let's maybe collapse some of this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply that slicer to some columns. And I'm just going to drag and drop. And once I have that, now what I can do is say I want to use my department slicer. And let's say I only want to see lab and studio. I can just select those and then query my sheet, and I see just lab and studio, or lab and retail. If I want to see just studio and wholesale, I click those, requery, and you can see it changing. And again, I could put a label up here if I was using my slicers actively. Now what I'm going to do is show you how to publish reports. So to publish, let's just do that. I have imported a hierarchy. So you just create your hierarchies in Excel and then you bring them in. And what I want to do with my hierarchy is publish. So if I come over here, I've already got this set up. I created a publish routine using my hierarchy. So I'm going to just select it. And what I'm going to do here is say, well, I want to publish these different reports. So I just select what I want. I click on publish. And my prefix is IS. So I've got all these departments now for the IS report. And I can see I've got one for corporate, retail, lab, and studio. And what's so nice about this is now if I ever want to add some different formatting, so I'll just make something bright, or if I ever need to insert a new line into my report, and because I've got a new account, and I'll just leave it blank for now as an example. So I've changed some things. All I have to do now is republish. And again, I'll just pick the same departments and it's going to read those tabs and update them. So you can see it updating those tabs. And now, as I come over to those, I've got the new formatting, the new line, and that would contain any data that I needed. So that is publishing. All right. The last thing I want to show you is how easy it is to build a report from scratch. So I've got a blank sheet here, and let's say I'm just going to do a trial balance. So I'm going to open up my GL data, and I'm going to open up where I have my accounts. So I'm going to drag and drop those accounts onto my grid. I want each account on its own line, so I say yes. And then in the columns, what I'm going to have is I need a version. So I'm going to say I want actual data. I need a value. So I'm going to say that I want the reporting amount of a sum. You can see the other options here. And then I'm going to have a date. And I can have a fixed date here, or I can have context dates that relate to the date I select in my ribbon, from my ribbon. And I'm just going to say I want the current month. There's lots of different choices. So I'm going to take those three things and apply them to the column. Drag and drop. And this time I'm going to say no, because I want each of these items on the same column. And then I just click Query My Data, and now I've got my trial balance. And of course I can format this any way I want, put a total on, and then to look at what I've got on each of these lines, I can click this Review Markup button, and I can see that I've got cash, accounts receivable, and then I've got three things on my column. So simple to use, but very powerful. And thank you so much for your time, Rob. I appreciate it.